Concentric circles swirl with a photo of Judy Heumann at the center. The Heumann Perspective. Judy Heumann is a white woman in her early 70s with dark hair extending over her ears. She wears glasses and red lipstick and uses a motorized wheelchair. Lachi is a black woman with long dark hair. She wears deep red and blue eyeshadow and deep red lipstick. To Judith's right, Becca Howell is in her 20s with her dark hair pulled back. Stevie appears briefly. They are in their 20s and wearing a face mask. Judith and Becca are in a split screen video interview.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Heumann Perspective. Today, our show is going to be a little bit different and the same. The same because we're meeting another dynamic disabled person, Lachi, who I'm so excited that we will be talking with today. I consider her to be a leader, a dynamic woman, a woman who is a leader, not just in the music world, but in who she is as a human being and what she is sharing with us in the world. So, and we're also having on set today Becca Howell, who is, we're playing around with titles. She's the project coordinator, social media wizard, and sometime barista. And on my far left, who you can't see right now, but Stevie will share their face, is Stevie. And Stevie is my executive administrative assistant. And the three of us are the team. So welcome, Lachi.
Hi, welcome Judy and the Dream Team. I am so honored to be here. I've been waiting for this day forever, and I'm so excited that it finally came. And also, how do I sit here and get compliments from the Judy herself? So I'm very excited to be here and really excited for this conversation for real.
So when did you decide that music was something that you were in love with? And have you gone through periods of singing and playing to different types of music?
I always knew music was for me when I was very young, and my family took to it as well. My dad wanted me to be all other sorts of things, like he did finance, so he wanted me to do finance, and then he also wanted me to be a doctor because he was an African parent. I tried to be a doctor, but these nails, like I couldn't do the, cutting up the animals and dealing with blood and getting into bloods and guts. Feel free to cut that
Wearing
out.
long artificial nails.
That wasn't just going to work for my career. So I said, what career can I have that will allow me to have long nails? No, I had always loved music, and my mother put me in choir, and I sang in high school at talent shows and things like that. But it wasn't really until college that I realized it. I would play the piano every weekend at my dorm. And it eventually got to a point where people would come and request songs for me to play and sing. So I would start singing songs, and then they were Saturday nights, and they started to call them piano nights. People would come with their boyfriends and their girlfriends after dates, or drunken frat boys would come after parties, and they would hang out and just lounge around as I sang songs, and they'd yell out Freebird, and I'd sing Freebird. And then people started going, "What are you doing here in this small town in North Carolina? You need to go to the big city. You need to be a real musician. You're wasting your talents on drunk frat boys." And so I decided, you know what? Okay. I asked my counselor, I said, I really want to do this music thing and I want to move to New York, but what classes should I take and what should I do? And he said, move to New York. So he was a really cool counselor because normally they would say, you should probably take Math 101 or whatnot. But he said, move to New York, and I did. And that was the beginning of my journey on just really doing it in music.
There are many different parts of you. And to me, it feels very much like you value them equally and you weave them together. And when I think about, your blindness and how you've been public about it for a long time, maybe you could talk a little bit about when did you ever decide that bringing your blindness into who you were and your music was something that you wanted to be more public about, and why?
Um, so Disclosure is such an interesting topic for me because I did have an interesting instance when I first walked into the music industry. I had gotten signed by a label under EMI, and I was super young and I was very excited. And they loved my voice and what I did. And when they found out that I was blind and that a few of my friends in my band were also legally blind or visually impaired, they wanted to make it a shtick for the group, and they were using it and leading with it in a way that I didn't feel comfortable with. And I ended up not re-signing our 1 year lease, our 1 year record deal, even though it was a amazing opportunity because I didn't really like the way I was being portrayed. And then after that happened, I I shut up about it. I was so fierce about music first, music first. I want everyone to just love the music, and I want everyone to know my message. And and that was great. It was a bit of a struggle to, get back up to where I needed to be, but I got there. And when I did, and really took into my own comfort and into my own skin, and really started appreciating myself as a person and as a woman, and I began to say, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own terms. I'm going to speak about my disability from a place of strength, not a place of pity, from a place of you want to be me, not you want to help me. I began to have a real message and have a real personality and character. And I really began to live with actual purpose.
When Becca learned that you had the same disability, how did you feel?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I like 2 seconds ago when you were just talking, I was honestly getting a little like, I don't know, I was feeling something like in my heart because you said like, I'm not around, I want people to want to be me, not want to pity me or help me. That's like, oh my God, like if I had heard that like in high school, like that, from someone who's also kind of riding that line of like low vision, blindness, who am I? Where do I fit in? What community am I a part of? Am I allowed to be part of the disability community? Like what is even, what is even happening? It's just like, so when I found out that you also have keratoconus, it was like, I, I don't know. It was incredibly empowering, incredibly exciting. Also to see a musician have keratoconus because I used to do music in
You don't
college.
used to do music.
I still do music, huh? Well, pandemic times is a little weird, but
Got it. Yep.
I
She's a singer.
yeah, I sing and I play piano, and I grew up my whole life playing music and doing music. My mom's a music teacher,
Oh, wow.
and so there was
My mom
always
was also a choir director. Don't tell her she really sucked at it though. She was really bad.
oh no.
But anyway,
Don't tell
sorry,
her.
go on.
We won't tell her. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's so many little things of me not thinking I could be a musician at all, and so just
Right.
seeing someone very much in the public eye and also a very successful and, in my opinion, very good musician, um, also have keratoconus and show up every day in the studio and do it your way, which is also my way in some parts, is really exciting.
How do you talk with other disabled musicians? And what is your vision of what you want to help create?
So the way I speak with other disabled musicians, it's interesting, and it's Becca made a good point. There's It's difficult for folks to get some of this information. So when I speak to a lot of musicians, it turns out that they are not informed on their rights, or informed. They're quick to already assume they can't, and so a lot of the time it's me letting them know that they can. Step one in a lot of situations is actually recognizing that you can advocate for yourself and that you should. And it keeps unfurling back onto itself, because the step before that really is trying to start to find a sense of community, because it's hard to advocate for yourself if you can't find a home to go back to if it goes wrong, and then you'll be afraid to ever do it again. But when you have sort of a place of community, then you're no longer as afraid to go out and advocate for yourself, not once, not twice, but every time something bad or negative or, just awkward happens to you. It also allows you to open up teaching moments, and then it allows you to turn around and speak to other musicians as well. And one really quick thing, I spoke to a gentleman the other day, and he said one of his biggest issues is the word dis. The prefix dis is what turns him off. But I say to that, I mean, you know, I'm distinguished. I don't like to keep my disability discreet. I like to spread it around and go the distance. There's so many positive words that start with the word dis, and I want disability to be one of them, because you can have that ability, but I got disability. So
One of the things that Lachi has been doing is really sharing her life, not only as a musician, but as a blind woman. And I know that right now you're going through losing more of your vision, and you're going to be doing,
a
uh,
YouTube
tell us
series.
what you're going to be doing with that.
So I have a YouTube series called The Offbeat. It is about a Black girl going blind, just trying to stay fab. I will be motivating and educating, and I really encourage people to go on the journey with me. We'll be talking to folks, teaching me what I need to know and what I need to do before I go blind, but we'll also be doing fun bucket list adventures and extravaganzas. I've already hooked up with a ton of influential brands to kick this off. And so I'm really excited to share that journey with folks. Everyone I've shared this with is very excited, and it's just going to be a real blast. So please check me out at youtube.com/Lachi Music and join the train, because once we take off, you will always be welcome.
I want to thank Becca for coming on screen and having fun with us today, Stevie for being in the background, and Lachi, our bold, badass friend. Look forward
Yes.
to continuing to support your work and, to admire and follow your lead.
Thank you so much for
much.
thank you so much for having me. It was definitely an honor hanging with the two of you, the three of you, and Judy. Always, always, always a pleasure. Very honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The video concludes with Judy's contact information and a black and white photo of Judy outdoors speaking into a microphone and wearing a Sign 504 button.